Hey y'all, I know there's a lot of confusion about what's going on lately with Hamish and Kylo, and I just wanted to kind of fill you guys in on what exactly is going on and why we're doing the vet visits and things like that. And I'm sorry if I sound bad. I've been fighting a bacterial infection for a week. About a year ago, I had noticed a little swollen place on the side of Hamish's face. At the time, I thought it was, maybe he'd gotten poked with a tree branch or, something like that, because they're always rubbing on trees. And it's not real uncommon. But, after a couple of months, it never got any better. Actually, it started getting worse. So then I started thinking, well, maybe it's an abscessed tooth, which is also common. So I knew if it was an abscessed tooth, we'd have to be able to restrain him somewhat for the veterinarian to take a look at him. So that's when we started building the head gate. I called my local veterinarian's office and talked to a couple of people out there, and I was looking at one of two different things. It was either going to wind up being an abscessed tooth, which is what I was hoping for, or it was a disease that cattle get sometimes called lumpy jaw. What happens in lumpy jaw is they'll get a splinter or a piece of hay or a stick or something embedded into their cheek, and it causes an infection just like a splinter would. But what happens is that infection gets down into the bone of the jaw, and it can actually start changing the bone structure of the animal. If it's left untreated, it can be fatal. And at the time I thought, well, lumpy jaw is the worst it can get. Well, that's what I get for thinking. Because on the outside of his cheek, he had this golf ball size mass. I don't know what else to call it. To me, it looked like almost a fatty tumor. But it's not anything that she had ever seen in cattle before, especially not with lumpy jaw. The mass that we were looking at was just not, it just didn't happen with what we were thinking. So then she dropped a bomb on me that the whole thing could be cancer. Right now we're treating him for lumpy jaw. We're gonna hope and pray that that's what it is. We're gonna continue the treatments for another 3 or 4 weeks, see how he does. She did remove the tumor, for lack of a better word. So that's what we did yesterday. He was not a happy camper with it. I'm sure it was quite painful for him. Even though, we did give him some lidocaine around the area before she cut it out, so that wouldn't hurt. But still, the treatment for lumpy jaw is you have to put sodium iodide directly into the bloodstream by way of the jugular vein. So we had to restrain him good enough to be able for her to get a needle into his jugular and slowly administer this IV. We're going to continue these treatments for 3 or 4 more weeks. Hope that we see some improvement. In the meantime, she's going to have that tumor biopsy. Hope it's benign. If it's not, if it is some sort of a cancerous growth that's changing the jaw structure, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Actually, there's nothing we can do about it. So, I'm hoping and praying that's not it. If the treatments that we're giving him now don't have any effect within 3 or 4 weeks, then about the only option that we've got left is getting him to the Virginia Tech Veterinary School of Medicine, letting them take a crack at him, seeing what they can come up with. We hope we don't have to go that far, because that's going to be pretty expensive. What we're doing now is already pretty expensive. I'll do as much as I can, to keep him getting better, obviously. Anyway, that's about where we stand right now. Kylo there is doing fine. He's a Timex. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking as he lays down. And you guys know how I feel about Hamish. He was my first. He's my buddy. So it's pretty hard. I'm sure it's hard on him, but it's hard on us too. I've tried to avoid thinking about what could be, and I'm just trying to focus on what is and what we can do at this point. But I did want to bring you guys up to date on what's going on, why we're doing all this, and things like that. I know a few people have been asking more detailed questions about the videos that you guys are watching now, and why the sudden change. And normally it's just me and the guys out in the field loving on each other. And all of a sudden it's sort of reality smacking you in the face. This is reality for livestock. You take care of them the best you can, but sometimes things just happen, and you go from there. Hope for the best. Anyway, I did want to fill you guys in on what's going on, and let you guys know, what's happening. Anyway, y'all keep watching the videos. We'll have more, as things progress. So, alrighty. Thanks, y'all. Bye.